place. Dee says, I'm surprised there's absolutely nothing in the news of these events. No paper outlets, TV, nothing. I find that weird. Eric has a post 36 minutes ago saying the person that texted him saying Betty was missing now told him Betty has been found. And let's see. Jerry says it was the store that showed up, not the county, I thought. Chris said it wasn't sexual assault. Chris or TG says all they had to do was walk to the creek and see that pipe. Jerry says, I know abuse on mentally and physically disabled is a felony. Chris says, Chicago. They would have to leave the office and go walk down the creek, which is not something a caseworker isn't going to do. Diane Frank Jonan says, Rick said on his live he was saying he's staying until he hears about Lorraine, Ray, and Timmy. Stoney, I saw that in the chat, but there is no way Patrick can get guardianship of Timmy.
Okay, I'm just reading Eric's post, and he says that he's not sticking around for this internet debacle. It's out of control. And he says that he is, I'm looking forward to going back to Georgia and living a normal life, as much of a normal life as I can. I just hate that it all turned out this way. Please leave them alone. If I knew what I know now, I would have never agreed to get involved. And he goes on, but it says some more things. But basically, I don't know when he's going back to Georgia, but he says he's going home.
I don't blame him.
I don't either, but he's got to feel some kind of responsibility for what happened in the
Oh, I
sense
think,
that he made the calls.
I think he just feels horrible about it because, everything, he was just ready, this was going to happen. And I think he feels hurt. I think he feels like, you know, betrayed a little bit. And I think he's got himself into something that he never wanted. How do you get out of this? Accusations are flying here and there. And, I'm
Hmm.
sure that he is just like, it's not easy being him right now.
No, I bet not.
No.
Says West Virginia likes to keep things quiet. They are only interviewing now because of all the recent social media attention. Um, let's see. Chicago says, and why wasn't APS out there when the calls started coming in? They waited for 60 calls? Yeah, really.
Well, yeah, good point, TG. I've said all along, APS dropped the ball on these people a long time ago.
Hmm.
They should have probably already been removed from that home a long time ago. They can say, well, we just wanted to keep them together because we knew they couldn't survive without each other. I have to disagree with that. They probably would survive better if they lived if they had, proper care, cleanliness, and I know they love each other,
Right.
but APS has not done their job. And suddenly, when all the limelight is on them, I am sure that they got a phone call from someone in the in state, in Human Health Services main place there, saying you better get something done about these people because they don't want that kind of attention. That is not what the kind of attention that any agency wants put on them. So they had no choice but to come out and remove them this time. They had to do something. But in my opinion, this heroic movement, I'm glad it finally happened. But APS is guilty of those people being left like that for a long, long time. They have not done their job, and they need to be called out for that. They need to be investigated as to why nothing has been done.
Camper Fanatic says, I think you're real people for his BS. Honestly, Jay says, well, everything is right now and he's going. Funky has made six figures himself. Havasu Brat, the Whitakers ask for their help. Eric's fault. He's blaming everyone. Time next truck, more tools, money coming 2 months solid. Chris says Patrick's last conviction was for non-consensual disclosure of private, intimate images. Ew. Funky said, if you would like to talk and speak on this, click on this link and come up.
Mima, you're breaking up again. It's hard to you're
Okay,
coming in and
sorry.
out.
I have to hold the phone a little bit far back because I can't see it close up. So that's what it is. My eyes adjust better further away than close up. Um,
Me and you both.
I know. Havasu Brat, if the house was full of feces, why didn't he take Lorraine and Ray too? Dee says Eric is shutting down his end of the madness. All of this before it tarnishes his daddy talk channel persona. Anthony, gotta get my son up and DC off to school in the AM. And I have dialysis in the morning. Good night, folks. Was fun. Good night.
Good night.
Mrs. Matt. Eric is largely responsible for this. I believe a lot of his actions were driven by spite. When he and BJ in the trailer, at the end of the day, he can't even tell them what family to have there. Anna says, exactly. Everybody is saying they depended on each other. No, Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy depended on Betty to keep them safe and clean, and that didn't happen. Kitty says, sure were, Mrs. Murphy. Now he leaves and the family is torn apart. Um, TG Chicago says, I heard APS had been out there before. Wow.
That makes it even worse if they've been up there before. They
Yeah,
saw
exactly.
they see it. The APS did not do their job, and, and bottom line, Eric didn't get the family torn apart, in my opinion, because Eric only reported the abuse that was going on, which anybody should have reported the abuse that's going on. If we know that somebody is being abused, more so if it is a vulnerable individual who cannot speak, who cannot defend themselves, and has no independence, and we don't report that, we're complicit too. So Eric, he did the right thing by going to the. Nobody would do a POV, do a protective order. So where else was he to go? Um,
True.
I disagree that Eric tore the family apart. Eric probably he did the right thing.
Yes.
Havasi Prat says, if the house was full of feces, why didn't he take Lorraine and Ray too?
Okay, that's another thing. How could Eric possibly take care of Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy? I couldn't take care of Ray, and I'm qualified to take care of Ray. I could not take care of Ray by myself. That's a full-time job. And
Mm-hmm.
Lorraine he has to have a lot of help too. He couldn't bathe Lorraine. I mean, why didn't he take them? I'm sure he could have, but what was he going to do with them? He's there. How could he take care of them? He could take care of Timmy because Timmy's more independent and understands better. But and I'm not trying to be ugly or anything. I'm just looking at reality. He couldn't have managed them. He couldn't have done that on his own.
Havasu says, he favored Timmy and left Ray and Lorraine. This was all about money and brought views. So that was disagreeing with your point right there. But
Yeah, well,
Denise says, APS told Patrick things had changed when BJ came back. That's why they took them, because BJ came back and Betty didn't want the protection order. They had no choice. Funky says, come on up to StreamYard. Does someone else want to come up?
Yes, please, somebody come up on the panel. I mean, it would be great if some of you guys in the chat came up.
Like talking on the phone. It's very easy. Um, and it's new blood. And we like to have new people on the panel. So somebody come up.
Yeah,
It gives your fingers a rest.
especially some of you guys in the chat who live in that area. You could just you could just give us so much, perspective, on on how things are there, because it is a different mindset sometimes, no matter, the different areas in the country that we all live in. Um, it would be amazing if someone from the area could come up on the panel.
Please.
Please.
Mrs. Matt Murphy, how long have they lived there? Now their world is torn apart. And I feel really sad for the Whittakers. Change of some kind is good and needed, however. JJ says, what makes this right? Could you go to your neighbors and say, live this way? I will help you change? Depends on the neighbors.
Yep.
And if they're open to it. And neighbors today are different than neighbors 20 years ago. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Even 10 years ago. Raised me was priority over everything, not chips and Burger King and bowling. Yep. TG says they've been there all their lives. Bad Betty, check your messages, please, says Kathy. Lunar Wolf, supposedly they're pressing charges against Patrick. Kitty Lover says Betty comes from this family too. I think Betty is getting too much flack. Imagine trying to take care of Ray Ray. I feel for Betty. They are not functioning at a normal level. To take all three would require several caregivers, says Ellie Mae. Eric could not properly care for all three. Um, Bad Betty, are you okay, sweetheart? I'm concerned about you. I love you so much, says Fern Ann. Bad Betty, you better come back and just make a showing because people are worried about you. Chris Cloud, keep in mind, Eric has no contact with his older child or children, which is why he started the dad talk thing. Oh, really?
Yeah, he went through a lot with his ex-wife and his not being able, I think, to see his children. I haven't really followed his channel. Uh, I just know about it,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why he started the channel, and he's been doing this for a long, long time. So he's not somebody that just popped up yesterday on YouTube. So
Havasu says apparently 1,200 YouTubers called Adult Protective Services. Eric knew it was the end of the road. Ellie says, thank you, Quiet. I'm a retired RN, and no way I would ever be able to take care of all three.
you're exactly right. There's no way, and I'm speaking because I know I don't always say what my job is or what I do, but there is no way that a nurse, a highly trained nurse, could manage that on her own. You would have to have at least three people, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
more, to manage those three individuals on a 24-hour basis, and certainly not in that home they were in. And you would need, the proper equipment. It would. There's no way that Eric could have even. He could not have managed that on his own. No way.
Um, Eric is a content creator, but now he's always going to get questions about the Whittakers. It's what he will be known for, and he will have a hard time walking away from it, says Bob. Their lives have changed forever. I doubt they will ever be back in odds, says Mrs. Matt. Stony, as a caregiver, there would need to be at least 2 people with Ray. Absolutely. At least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funky
And
says, click the link and come on up. We need some people to come up. This is Matt Murphy. Come on up.
and
Please.
with Ray, Ray has not been to the doctor. According to Eric, when they took him, Eric got him a doctor's appointment. Patrick said, "Oh, that's just not easy to do up here in West Virginia," and he wasn't really. He was supposed to get him an appointment, and he didn't. Eric came up and talked to a doctor and got him in the next day. And the office staff there, they were so good to him, and they were going to get things arranged to get him to an actual orthopedist that, because he's got other problems other than his knee, and they're probably genetic. Um, but Ray has not been managed on any medications, evidently. And if he is in a psych unit right now, they're going to look at what kind of medications that he might need. And that's not to say they're going to dope him up and whatever, but there are medications that may make his behavior be so much better. And it may be a blessing for him to, if there are medications that can help him function better.
Right.
So, I don't know that he's on any type of medications. And most people who have a condition like him, they do take things that does help their behavior and help them function better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A few things. We have 121 people in here and only 76 likes. So I'm not going to read any more until we get more likes up because that's crazy. Second thing, we need some of you new people to come on up. Havasu Brat, people that keep talking, Bob Apples. We need one of you. Stony, come on up to the chat. Kaleidoscope, you're another one who keeps talking with good information. Moni, please, somebody come on up to the chat and give us a different perspective. We'd really appreciate it. So, that being said, until I see the likes moving, I'm tired of reading. So,
Well, I'm not going to read either.
Well, I
and
can't see the chat, so I definitely can't read.
So we'll just wait.
we'll just wait because there's 122 people here. It's not easy to read the chat. You may think it is, but it's not because it keeps moving
Friend,
and it's small and our eyes are old. We're old people and just
Speak for
tired.
yourself, Mima.
Okay, I'm an old person.
You're only
well,
old in your mind. Your only age is irrelevant. You can be whatever age you want to be.
But
state of mind.
seriously, somebody come on up. Give us your perspective. Talk to us. It's like talking on the phone. It's not anything other than talking on the phone. You're just speaking. You're not seeing anybody. Nobody's seeing you. You don't have to be dressed up or nothing.
Give your fingers a rest.
We're only at 79 likes, guys. It only
You
takes a second to hit that thumb. You can hit it with your nose even. Um anyway,
goodness.
it's not moving.
No,
It's
I don't
not
know.
moving, and neither am I.
Now, I suppose, Bing's been really good. Maybe you could go get him a chip.
Bing has not been very good. He's been a little stinker. Now he's laying up next to me. I think he wants to go to bed and go under the covers. It's his bedtime, but we shall see.
Oh, wait a
Lunar
minute.
Wolf, why don't you come up? Come on up, Lunar. Come and talk, or D someone. Eddie, one of you. All you have to
Come
do
on,
is
Dee.
hit the link under Funky's Bills the Tea right there, StreamYard. It tells you what to do. You can turn off your camera so we don't see you. It's very easy. Very easy. We're at 88. Well, we've gone up. How much have we gone up? 20 something? There's 90. 10
Nice.
more. 10 more. Let's get to 100 and then we can move on.
Hopefully we'll attract some more people in here.
Even if you hit the hearts, it brings people in. When you hit the hearts, it makes the chat get more people to see and such
We had
like that.
we had 260 people in our chat last night. That is
Hmm.
amazing.
We only had about 180 maybe at the most early. Um,
Right.
Right.
91, 9 more people. Hit the like button. Come on. Hit the hearts. Get the hearts going. Let's get some people in here. I know you think it's crazy, but it's easy. It's our little break time right now, actually.
Yeah. Um, hey girls, there was a I'm gonna call you girls because you're not old. I'm like squinting at this ant-sized chat little box down here, and I was able to read a comment that I think Dee made earlier about
Hmm.
making this something positive, and maybe somebody we need somebody needs to lobby for a Timmy's law that would prevent social media from this kind of thing happening again.
From
Maybe
exploitation of a family.
yeah, of the
Yep.
vulnerable people, handicapped
Yep.
people, vulnerable people. But that is an excellent idea. Some of you West Virginians on this chat, you need to. What's your capital? Charleston? What's the capital of West Virginia? I don't know.
No,
I don't know why Charleston pops in my mind.
I think Charleston's in Virginia, isn't it?
I don't. I was thinking West Virginia.
Right.
6 more likes. 5 more likes. Yes, it is a shame that people want to profit off these people. And that's why we're talking about it. So that it doesn't continue. People like them aren't hurt anymore.
Oh, you're right. It is. It is Charleston.
I don't know why. I guess fourth grade never left me. We had to learn all the capitals, and I'll never forget that. We had to memorize them. Um, but some of you West Virginians in the chat, you need to get to Charleston, call your representatives, get some people up there lobbying for Timmy's Law. That's how these things come into um, effect. This is a good example to use that we need a law like that. I think you'll probably get a lot of support for it.
Right.
It's a great idea.
And who are some of the local mayors or representatives in the area? Write them, have them come out, take a look at what's going on in their own community. Make them be accountable for what's going on around them. That's horrible.
Cases just like this one. Um, how this family, even APS dropped the ball too. There's so many things that we need to say. Hey, whoa, we're not having. This can't continue. We can't. We have to be accountable. And our politicians are the way to get accountability, but they have to be accountable as well. So it starts with two people, you know, phone calls, letters. That a Timmy's law would be if that could come out of this whole experience, it would keep other people from this type of thing happening to them as well.
5 more likes, guys. Only 5 more likes. I'm going to get a drink. Well, do you think we're going to get to 5 more likes?
I'm
Sure, we
hoping
are.
so. I
What?
believe we will.
You believe so?
I believe.
I believe there's one. 4 more. I believe
Very cool.
4 more. Come on, guys. Share it out. Get somebody else to come in. That's what we should do, is share it out. If you know somebody who likes talking about the Whittakers and likes the whole experience of what's
Yeah.
happening and wants things to change, share out the page. We got 2 more likes to come in and then we can go on.
It's a place you can come and you can voice your opinion. You know, you might not agree with mine, I might not agree with yours, but we're communicating, we're talking, and that's where things start, and that's how change eventually happens.
There we go. 101. Yay!
Good job.
Good job. All
Thank you,
right.
Jody Ann, and hello.
Where
Jody,
were we
there's
now?
somebody, Jody Ann, said hi, everyone. She hit the like button.
Thank you, Jody. Let's see. Where were we? Um, I read Havasus. They've been there all their lives.
Hang on.
Betty comes from this family too. I think Betty is getting too much flack. Imagine. Oh, I read that one already. I read those. Let's see. Keep in mind, Eric has no contact with his older child or children. That's why he started the dad talk. I have a feeling they all are more miserable and traumatized now. Apparently, 1,200 YouTubers called APS. Thank you, quiet. I'm a retired. Okay, we did that. Did that. If they were my neighbors, Stoney said, as a mandated reporter, I would have to report it. That's true. If you're a mandated reporter, you do have to.
I
Kaleidoscope.
think, I think I'm sorry, I think that mandated reporters are essential. But I also think as human beings, we need to be reporters if we know that there is abuse going on.
Mm-hmm. Kaleidoscope. I agree about Betty. She's always done what she could, but maybe it was just getting too much. Kitty says Betty has never left home. She was born in an incestuous family. I feel sorry for her. No way Betty could care for all 3. Either she did her best. Um, Funky, I'm still waiting for the surprise, says Ellie Mae. Moni, in God's hands. I don't think it's right that Eric completely washes his hands when times get tough. He needs to stick it out. Kitty says, I worked in a subacute unit, and me and one other girl took care of 30 patients in an hour shift. Shower, shave, PT, breakfast, lunch, potty, and naps. Holy cow. Thank you for doing that, Kitty. Shark Lane, Eric is burnt out. Tenacity for the truth. Eric went on about how much he loves Timmy and wanted to protect him. Yet he left him there that night with BJ, knowing he would be at risk of her retaliation for calling her a biche on camera. Kitty Lover, right? Betty should never have had to do that by herself. She needed help years ago, says Ellie. Mitch, they might give them anti anxiety medication and hopefully something for pain, inflammation. Havasu, would it be priority to get help for Ray if he needs 3 caregivers instead of going away with Timmy? Diane Frank, why don't you come up on the panel? Larry and Kenny should have kept Ray clean. Right, Ellie? Kitty says. Ray isn't easy. She did bathe and dress Lorraine. Kenny got Ray spiffed up. Betty isn't there either. The whole thing saddens me. It could have been done differently. Eddie says, you really think Patrick is going to be given custody?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I think Patrick's delusional thinking that he'll get custody. What? I hope not, because I'm probably going to come to West Virginia and Lottie and Charleston. I mean, who gives
Right.
custody to someone who has got probation last month for
Right.
Yes.
distributing photos of his girlfriend? A list.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
Inappropriate photographs
And
and
Yes.
stalking
I
and all the other things that he's done. I don't think so. If and I don't know
Right.
where these people are coming up with. Patrick said he needed $3,500 to get Timmy. They don't charge you to get.
Yeah, exactly. There's conditions, but there's no dollar signs with those.
Yeah, it sounds like
that's
he's
how
he's.
much it is for him to clean up where he is. You know.
Right.
It's going to cost more than $3,500 to fix that house. I can promise you
Oh,
that.
please. Yeah.
I know. Let's see. I'm going to read someone's comment again because it's important. When things like this happen, I wish we could turn this negative into a positive, like create Timmy's Law, a law preventing social media platforms from allowing content using disabled or vulnerable. Yep. Lunar Wolf. Patrick is not going to get guardianship of the Lorraine, Timmy, and Ray, according to some of the information I've been looking up and research. And he's going to be getting charges pressed against him. D says, my husband is sleeping, or I'd love to go up. Oh, just go in the other room, D. Moni says, Eric stated that Patrick pled guilty for sexual assault. There's no way they would give him custody. Eddie says, set up a trip at fund, give them a house, and all the money should be handled by an attorney. D, someone, I love that idea. It's supposedly in a trust to TG Chicago. Kristen says, Eric, on one of his recent lives today, said there are sexual offenders around there, and one of them is a Whittaker. I wonder which one. So Eric is a bigger guy, still putting that out there. Just seems spiteful.